After the conclusion of Invincible Season 2 and the recent hype of One Punch Man Season 3, me and my GOAT Professor Fiction have decided to join forces like Bang and Bomb and answer the question, could Garou hunt Invincible? Now, for this video, we have two specific rules. One, no Cosmic Garou, as obviously that version of Garou would obliterate anyone in the Invincible verse. And two, Mark will be at his absolute peak, meaning at the end of Invincible, so I don't want to hear anything from anyone saying that I'm talking about a young Mark and adult Mark solos. Anyway, with that aside, I hope you guys enjoy. Now, since Season 2 literally just finished and I watched it like less than a week ago, I'm going to talk about Mark. Now, Invincible is a verse that's definitely known for its superhuman qualities, but Invincible surprisingly is a verse that doesn't really have that many AP feats. We have things like Omni-Man saying he could destroy a meteor the size of Texas, which is arguably moon level depending on calculations. But if we're going off of the actual source material and Mark at his best, he would just upscale from this one feat of him plus Omni-Man plus another Viltrumite, combining all their power to destroy a planet. However, in order to do this, they needed to hit a specific point in the planet, and all three of them needed to do this or else they would just get completely nailed.
These three basically had a three-way QuickTime event and had to mash every single button at the same time, and they still passed out after the fact. Speed for Invincible is probably the most controversial thing to talk about, as many people would often bring up various massively faster than light feats, like Omni-Man flying to the Thraxa planet at the end of Season 1. There's many calculations of this feat, and depending on different interpretations, like in the show, they talk about it's many galaxies away. In the comics and in the guidebooks, they say it's possibly in another supercluster. However, that itself is more up to interpretation and kind of controversial, as they reference the same supercluster we're in. Either way, at the highest end, it tends to reach several million to billion times the speed of light. For something maybe more consistent, we know characters like Alan can fly from the edge of the solar system to Earth in a matter of minutes, which has been calculated to several thousand times the speed of light. You could use the Guide to the Invincible Universe to say they all kind of cap at the speed of light, since when Omni-Man was traveling across the universe to the Thraxa planet, it was stated he reached almost the speed of light, then was kind of time jumping or time dilating his way across the rest of the galaxy. However, the Guide to the Invincible Universe has a lot of contradictions and inconsistencies, such as saying that Omni-Man's peak lifting strength is only 100 tons, whereas we've seen people like Mark and Anissa, two Viltrumites significantly weaker than Omni-Man, lift far more than this.
As for hacks, unfortunately, Mark is not all that special, besides super strength, super speed, and flight, and also having insane reserves when enraged. But besides that, there's really nothing too crazy to note for Mark in terms of hacks, and to put it short, he's just a big strong dude who can fly. Yeah, now let's move on to Garou. Now, although the version of Garou we're talking about isn't the one in his cosmic state, Garou is still clearly a monster even without the power of God. Huh, see what I did there? Cause he's a monster. Yeah, I'm funny.
Good one, Ty. You got him.
Even before getting to his peak transformation, a Garou who was just starting to perfect his fist was capable of splitting Sage Centipede in half. This is the same individual who's larger than Elder Centipede and can move at ridiculous speeds, to the point where calculations have this centipede moving at mountain level. They pretty much applied this but to Sage Centipede, who is way larger than Elder Centipede. And along with things such as Orochi's Gaia Cannon, we have Sage Centipede reaching those multi-continental to small planetary level ranges, and Garou legit one-shots him, like karate chops his exoskeleton. Garou would proceed to go through a whole other transformation and would legit have a special move where he would affect the Earth's core itself, that being with the move Extreme Fa Jin. This should just upscale from the other attacks I've talked about before, but this move is a little bit interesting since it technically bypasses your durability.
As for Garou's speed, we've seen that human Garou, even at 1 HP, paralyzed, poisoned, and burned, and 0 EVs or IVs reacting to light speed Genos. And when he fought Platinum S and Flashy Flash, they created light constructs in the sky. This feat, at the very bare minimum, has been calculated at upwards of 4 times the speed of light. And mind you, bro would gain some way more power-ups, plus the ability to fly and launch himself in the sky with Iron Man thrusters thanks to monsterization. Garou at the very worst should be multiple times into the speed of light, if not dozens of times, just based on the fact that he blitzed Platinum S at the end of their fight. Garou is a relatively normal dude, at least before he monsterizes, but through martial arts he's able to pull off some pretty superhuman things. With the water stream, he's able to nullify and deflect attacks with twice their strength. With the whirlwind iron cutting fist, he's able to launch blasts of air from mid-distance. He's able to create shockwaves in your body and straight up ignore durability with certain techniques. Thanks to monsterization, he has regeneration, energy blasts, and the ability to fly. He also has a superhuman level of instinct and awareness where his body can move on his own, and he can naturally pick up on fighting styles on the fly, at one point almost mastering a whole new martial art after just reading it one time. This doesn't just apply to martial arts either, as Garou spent his entire hero hunt adapting to all sorts of different fighting styles, like Tank Top Master's brawling, Watchdog Man's beast-like fighting styles, master level fencers, and marksmen. After he defeated Death Gatling, he even says he pretty much figured out how to fight people with guns now, and he doesn't have to worry about it anymore. Most notably, when he's fighting the hero Golden Ball, he calculates the trajectory of all of his ricocheting bullets without getting hit a single time, which we'll see is notable later. But not only did he do this, but he did this in near pitch darkness as well, just guessing where the bullets would end up using his intelligence and instinct. Alright, and now let's get into the matchup.
Now, off rip, it's clear that Mark and Garou aren't that far off in terms of attack potency, but it's clear that Garou does have the advantage over Mark. While Mark is barely reaching that small planetary tier, Garou is karate chopping characters' entire bodies who are reaching these tiers.
Garou's skills, especially compared to Mark, are kind of insane when you really think about it. Thrag was super hyped up for being the most skilled and deadly Viltrumite, and when he's teaching his kids how to fight, he's like, expose your opponent by hitting their weak point. Like, come on bro, this is what Garou does every day. Garou's able to bring no less than 12 different martial arts to bear at the same time, and it honestly doesn't really matter if Mark is that much faster, because Garou could kind of end it in one hit. Not only does Extreme Fajin straight up ignore durability, literally hitting your internal organs with multi-continental levels of force, but Garou can also hit Mark back with his own force using the water stream, and we've seen that people in Invincible can cause severe damage even if they're relative to one another. Garou can also using the Sky Aura Ripping Fist, which when he was fighting Bang, someone he was relative to, was able to one-shot him just by grazing him a single time, meaning even if Garou didn't get a direct hit on Invincible, if he just grazed him, the shockwaves would spread through his body and destroy all of his bones.
Oh, but what if Mark got really mad? Anyway, even if Mark was to get really mad, Garou's adaptation would catch up faster than Mark's rage would overcome Garou, and the gap would slowly be made further and further for Mark, until it's damn near impossible for him to even get a hit on Garou. Garou as well, with one simple reflection hit to Mark's face, would just damn near kill him. Remember, invincible characters, when they are a lot weaker or are hit with a much stronger force, can't really do anything to hurt or defend against said force. Like, this man Red Rush was breaking his hands trying to like flail at them against Omni-Man. Mark's only win con would be if he was just bloodlusted and just tried blitzing and one-shotting Garou while Garou would stand there menacingly. Like if Garou was like really cocky for some reason. But especially given the version of Garou we're talking about, this is the monsterized version. This is the one that's off of instinct, wants to fight strong people. If anything, Mark coming at Garou and approaching him this way would be kind of similar to how Garou approached King, where he was like, oh, okay, someone strong wants to come at me. And he would proceed to just look at every single possibility and prepare for the worst.
Yeah, man, let's not forget that this Mark guy, he happens to be one of these guys called superheroes, which, you know, Garou kind of just hates these guys off rip. He's not gonna look at this guy and be like, oh, go about your day, bro. I'll catch you around. Like, he wants smoke. He wants smoke right off the bat. And for those of you that are talking about, you know, oh, Mark might get mad, Mark might get a little mad, don't forget, Garou literally mutates his entire body when he gets mad. So yeah, Mark might get a little stronger. Garou's just gonna grow 2 more arms to just beat his ass even more.
And also, it's just gonna be crazy when Invincible tries to go for a suplex and then Garou's like, Garou style Invincible slam or some shit, and then just like does a way better version of what Invincible does. Like, anything Mark can do, Garou can do better, and Garou has like 10 plus different ways to destroy Mark, whereas Mark has maybe one win con. I'm giving this fight to Garou 9 out of 10 times. Mark gets folded.
Go subscribe to my channel. And check out this collab we did on my channel if you like Spider-Man.
Oh yeah, oh, that video's awesome. Yeah, go check it out.
Yeah.